Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to put out a little video today talking about gates and fortified cities. They're basically, if you've played Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening or if you've watched me play it, they are the siege trap of Romance 8 Remake. These are cities that are a lot tougher to take than they initially appear. And some of you guys may have already come across these cities like I did. I just stumbled into it during our Dongzhuo run. I suffered a disaster attacking a fortified city. And, you know what? I'm going to put the link down to that video so you guys can see. But as I was fighting this city, I think it was Hanzhong, I was trying to figure out why I couldn't do anything. It just felt like as I attacked and battered the walls, the gate, I don't even think I made it to the gate actually. I think I hit the towers. Just attacking the towers with Dongzhuo's force, I did very, very, very little damage. I mean, negligible. Okay? And it stuck with me. So, I did a little digging. Lo and behold, the answer is fortified cities. So, the following little clip, you know, is put together from my top 3 beginner videos. This is kind of something that I had to cut out talking about fortified cities while I was talking about the destroy command and why it's so important. You know, I was trying to keep that video kind of lean, so I cut that out and I've put it here instead, you know, with a little bit more detail and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit and let me know what you think. Scale the cities. So city scales, right? The HP for each city, there's 3 scales in the game: small cities, medium, and large. So the HP values, the defense values, not the HP values, the defensive values for small scale cities are capped at 1500, medium cities double to 3000, and large cities, which are super rare. I don't even think there's a large city on the map. Like at the beginning of a game, I don't think there's a large city. But large cities go all the way up to 6,000 HP, which is just insane. Now, that's the scale. On top of that, you have to consider fortified cities. So, you guys can see the map here, right? You see these little gates? Almost all the cities that have a gate, minus, I think, Luoyang, minus Luoyang, are considered fortified cities. These cities right here. Now that information you can see for yourself just by going over the category. If you punch in the L3, go over to policy, and you can see the category, fortified city. If you're looking at a fortified city, it's going to have 15,000 more defense added to its cap. So these cities are way more difficult to take on top of the gate. So another thing to consider is the gates. If you're attacking, see the cursor here? If I'm here, if I'm in Wan and I'm invading towards Chang'an, because I'm invading, if you follow the road, because I'm heading towards the gate, they will have that gate deployed in the battle. If they're attacking me, they're obviously not going to have that gate. That gate's going to disappear. It's basically like a defensive measure. It doesn't work offensively, is what I'm trying to say. So, if you're invading a city in a direction to a city and it has a gate on the road, it has a gate. That's the first thing, which that's a red flag. Okay, if you're just starting the game, that's a red flag. And it's going to be a fortified city. And again, go to city details and check it. Oh, this one's commercial. Yeah, go to city details and make sure. Most of them are fortified if they have a gate in them. Now there's 2 cities that don't have any gates at all that are fortified, which I thought was curious. This city right here, Jiangxia and Chaisang, both have the fortified trait. So these 2 cities in the southern half of the map have a higher defensive cap. Again, why does the defensive cap matter so much? Because it determines the hit point of the towers, of the gates, and of the city itself. Now for early game, your plan is to ignore the city and just destroy the forces. So you don't want to run into a city like this. You don't want to attack Zhang Yu here because he's got a gate right there. So that's going to be very tough to crack, okay, when you're first starting out. This is a much better target, Zhang Yang, because he does not have a gate, which means his city cap is going to be lower. He's not going to be considered a fortified city, and he's not going to have a gate when you get to the battlefield. So you just have to deal with the towers. But just remember the values. You want to get it below 1,000. And you definitely don't want to head towards a gate. It is, I mean, that's a rout. That's a wipe. You charging at the beginning of the game, what you do want to do, that's correct. But you don't want to charge towards a city that either has a gate or is fortified because of the boosted HP. Just remember, the boosted HP, it's very, very important. I mean, and it only becomes more important. So destruction, again, the destruction command is something that you should be doing right from the jump. Once you have your target, you say, okay, because you really only have 1 or 2 parliament phases. Just like every Koi game, the beginning is the most crucial. So you choose your target, which I said was Zhang Yu, but realistically, it should be the free city, actually. But let's say you want to fight, right? You're here to fight. It should be Jingyang. Espionage, start destroying. Use destroy a couple of times. It's early game. The AI has its hands full doing a lot of things. They're not going to be able to just focus on fixing their defenses. So chances are we can lower his defense below 1,000, and that'll make destroying their tower very, very easy in the beginning. That's the point of it. It's not necessarily to take the city. That doesn't matter that much. But as the game goes on, as your run goes on, it will become more and more important to deal with towers. It'll become more, because the armies will get bigger. So you won't be able to rush down one unit. Too many people try to rush down. I'm going to run across the map and rush the 2 guys. I'm going to run across the map and destroy the other defenders. Well, that works in the beginning. But as the campaign goes on, you're going to skirt by, but as the campaign goes on, those armies get bigger and bigger. The battles get prolonged. That arrow tower damage starts to accumulate, right? Use the destroy command. Make the battle much, much easier on yourself. And remember the spy command. Okay? So, those are those 2 systems. Like I said, look at the gates. It's going to be fortified. Sometimes it might not be. If you want to be 100% sure, which why not, right? You're gonna attack it. Check the category. If the category says fortified, that cap is higher. It's gonna be much higher. So expect it to be much more difficult to take. So as a good rule of thumb, early dates in this game, from Heejin to Dongzhuo, Rise of Dongzhuo, expect the center territories to be very difficult to take. These right here. Very difficult. And then as the game goes on, everything else gets filled in, then yeah, all this stuff. If it's got a gate, you're going to need siege weapons, but more importantly than siege weapons, than hitting a gate one time is lowering the value, the overall value. Think about it. Think about the value of that trade. I can use a ram hit that costs me all this money on a tower one time, or I can lower everything's base health by a couple thousand points, right? And if you're lucky enough to have a guy who has craftsman, hold on to him. But skills and stuff is going to be another video. We're just covering the 2 biggest commands.